Hey guys, I'm right outside of Rugby, Tennessee here, and I'm with Larry and Kenny Tomkins, and they have a blacksmith museum. Their family's 4-generation blacksmiths, and we're going to look around at the museum, and they're going to tell us a little bit about the story of their family and their grandpa and the blacksmithing they did here in the area. So y'all ready to show us around a little bit?
I think so.
Let's look at the house over here, and this is their house.
Built about 1912, I think.
1912.
My grandpa, actually, about all I remember about him is the day he died.
Oh really? How old was you when he passed?
He was in his 70s, I guess. Yeah. And I would just have been, you know, like 5 or 6.
5 or 6.
But he died out here at the barn. They found him at the foot of the old ladder. I've still got the old ladder out there. And I can remember that. I guess that's set in my memory, you know, because it was such a...
Did your grandma continue to live here?
Yeah, she lived several years after that, didn't she?
Till 65, I believe.
Yeah.
So that was the last time somebody actually lived in the house, or did anybody live in it after?
No.
No. Larry lived in it some.
You lived in
I
it?
lived in it some, and another guy, Carly Garrett, lived in it some.
So what was the last year somebody lived here?
No, I don't know that. It would have been, what, in the 90s, I guess.
90s. Well, I just love these old Appalachian houses. I'm glad to see y'all are preserving history here and keeping it, and looks like it. What, do you have a smokehouse back here maybe on the back, or what's it?
Smokehouse and cellar there. I still use the cellar, as a matter of fact.
Oh, do you?
Oh yeah.
How about that?
Still put potatoes in it.
Well, yeah, I love this, man. This is true Appalachian history right here. Just this house still can, you know, just to see it still standing. So many people would take this and maybe have tore it down a long time ago, but you know.
This is Grandpa and Grandma's garage, and that was actually, he parked a truck over on that side, coal shed and wood shed, all in that small building.
How about that? And about the garage here, that it's your grandpa had a what year model Dodge?
Pickup, it was, what'd you say, Larry? 51 Dodge, yeah.
51 Dodge, and he parked it under right here, huh?
Yeah, that had doors right here. I've got them closed up now.
Oh, okay, so he went in like this.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. I'm seeing now. I thought you were saying he pulled in this way.
And then there's two small rooms here for wood and coal.
Okay.
Wood shed and coal shed.
And so did he work right here in this area, or in the barn, or where did he work?
No, actually, I've added this porch on.
You had the porch on, okay.
You can see the doors there too.
You can see the hinges off the.
Okay, I got you.
That open, that swung open, and the truck was in here.
Okay.
And then from
There
here over was the wood shed. And
you can see it better when we go in there. You can tell it better.
Okay, yeah. So you got some stuff out here that he was.
Yeah, he had a blower like this. He had, of course, a big forge out of rock, where mine's just a little portable forge, but I've tried to do a little bit of blacksmith work. Not much for a blacksmith, though.
It's a lot of work in it, ain't it?
It is, yeah. It's
hot work too.
I put a spike through the post here. See, here's one end, and here's the other end over here.
Yeah.
But that's a little trickery.
A trickery, yeah.
You know, that's a railroad spikes what it is. They're not that long.
No,
you know?
they're not.
I sharpened off one end and put it in there when it's hot, and then put the other.
Gotcha, yeah.
Now there I made a little hammer out and put it in there when it's hot. It won't come out. So I've made a few little things, but not much. I'd like to, but I don't know whether I'm ever get around to. I like to work wood. I make hiking sticks.
That's right. You were telling me that before.
Yeah, I told you I was going to give you a hiking stick before you leave.
So some of you guys watching the video might recognize Kenny from the Brooks's video. He's usually down there on Saturday mornings eating.
Breakfast, yeah.
You've been down there with him a few times.
Been going over there for a lot of years before Tiffany had it.
Oh yeah, so you probably remember about
Bob's Bargain Barn. I've got it in here on a saw. A lady drawed it for me.
Really?
Yeah.
How about that? I see that. I'd like to see that.
Well, I was going to take you down to the house first, but
go down to the house, okay?
That's where I started down there.
Okay. Let's go down there.
We'll take you down there on the golf cart.
That sounds good. I'm too lazy to walk for. Ain't like you. You skinny and in shape. I'm a lazy fat man.
I try to stay busy doing something. Let Larry go too. You can ride on the dirty seat, Larry. I don't know what that is.
That's the way your brother do you, ain't it?
Oh, don't know what that is.
Okay.
I've been making some jam. I brought you a little jar of blueberry, blackberry
Oh my
jam.
goodness, Jody will love that. I love it too, but my son, I brought some home to my son one night. I brought some home. I was going to eat it, and somebody gave me some, and my son ate it all in one night, the whole jar.
Better going this way instead of going through my garden, because I've had the garden.
So now what was this little structure right here?
Oh, that was a
Spring house?
well house.
Well house, okay. Oh, I like your little path here. This is neat.
I planted these poplars.
Okay.
I don't know what year. It's been several years now, I guess. And I like the way poplars lose their limbs, you know, they just open up pretty good. This was a building that comes from down here at church. It was a coal shed.
Really?
Down at church, and they wanted it tore down. It was getting kind of bad shape, so I brought it up here and put it back up and put the porch on it, put new floor on it, new roof. Those boards come off of our dad's blacksmith shop that was built in 1918.
1918.
Yeah.
Well, so this is where you kind of started out, you said?
Yeah. And I put this screen door up there today so it wouldn't be so hot in there when we go in there. It gets kind of warm in there this time of year. I've not got any air conditioning. And as you can see, I've got this thing packed full. It took me a while before I decided I better start using another building.
Yep, I can see you've got quite a few.
On that board there is some things that Dad had made. Well, Grandpa might have made a thing or two. There's some pictures of Dad. That's
okay.
Doing some work in the shop. There he's making a handle, and there he's made this is a pair of tongs just like that. Now Larry and I can remember helping him make those. He would work on those for a week. I mean, he wouldn't work all day, but you know, working in the forge, you usually just work a couple hours in the morning, you know, and you be kind of wore out a lot of times. But he worked on those for at least a week and then charge what, $20, Larry? I think
$20.
He finally went up to 25, I think.
My goodness. So he would start with just a straight piece of steel? And
yeah, those were actually car axles, I think.
Car axles, how about that?
Made them out of car axles, sure did.
So
we got a gig here somewhere. That's always something I thought was kind of amazing. Of course, people don't like to see them too much anymore because they're not used, but at one time they
frog gigging.
Well, frog gigging.
Did you ever go frog gigging?
I never did do that. Did you ever do that, Larry? I guess he has. He's done a little bit of fish gigging too, I think. I think I tried it one time, but I never did gig a fish.
Yeah.
But now I've caught a good fish or two. I caught that bass.
Oh, okay. Got some Tennessee plates up here. Is that from your family?
No, that's just some
that you've collected?
Up, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure is. Now Larry's caught a great big muskie. That's a model pretty close to a muskie that I caught. I thought was long enough. And they got to be 36 inches to keep a muskie, or jack really? As we call them, that come out of the river down here. And Larry said, no, it's not long enough for us to keep. So he measured it with a stick.
Yeah.
And sure enough, we brought it in. I was down there trying to measure it. You know, you can go from your nose to right to the end of your finger, you can get 3 foot.
Yeah.
And I told Larry, I said, it's awful close to 3 foot, you know. And he said, no, it's not. And sure enough, we brought it in and we measured the stick, and it's 30 inches.
Yeah.
So it was 6 inches short. But now he's caught one that's 39 inches. He's got it mounted down at his house. Oh, I'm kind of a Davy Crockett fan too. I made a rifle similar to Davy. You'd make a good Davy Crockett. I need to dress you up like Davy Crockett.
I probably look like a wild man for sure.
He had black hair, and
if I don't shave for about a week, I'd fit right into Davy Crockett.
Yeah.
I see you got some arrowheads there. Is that something you might have?
Yeah, that's something I found a good while ago and mounted on that board. Yeah. I've got my good ones in the box there. I can show you them too here in a few minutes. Just look around, anything you want to ask me about. Now, our dad was a trapper.
Okay.
He would trap a lot of different fur in the winter, like mink, and that's something he would use to skin, put the animal on to skin it.
Oh, okay.
He made that actually. Yeah.
So your dad blacksmithed up to how long?
In the late 80s, wasn't it?
Actually, right before he died.
Yeah, before he died.
He'd done a little bit of work the year before he died.
I guess he did, yeah.
Yeah. And where was he now? Was that across the street
Yeah.
where he's doing that? Where he lived? So you grew up across the street, and your grandma and grandpa lived on this side of the
On this
street.
side, yeah.
So a close family, I guess. That's nice having family so close, I guess, at sometimes.
True. That's kind of interesting thing right there. That's a mouse trap. I've caught mice in that.
I see that.
Put
How
a
about
put a
that?
little cheese in there and go in there and they can't get out. Of course, you get a live mouse, you gotta kill it or feed it to your snake or something.
Maybe relocate him down the road.
But I keep it covered up because I come up here one day, didn't have any bait in there, and there was a mouse in it.
Now, tin country. Now you know that was before Heartland.
Heartland.
Before they had Heartlands, they had what we call tin country.
Okay, and I'm not familiar with that. That's a TV show.
Yeah, that
Well,
was
anyway, they interviewed Dad at the blacksmith shop.
Ken Swall, I guess. He was the one in there.
Okay.
Didn't he?
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to stay on stuff that Dad made and so on before I get into stuff that he didn't, because I've got a lot of stuff he didn't. But that's something he made a lot of. That's a ginseng hole.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
My mom and dad and family, they did a lot of ginseng in these
you're
mountains
familiar with
around
that,
East
huh?
Tennessee over the years.
Now that was an anvil there that Dad didn't have, but Bobby Brooks told a story about. He's the one that donated that. What's his name? Tompkins. There's another Tompkins living over Scott County. I can't think of his name.
Anderson or something?
Well,
No, wasn't Anderson.
I don't see it on there, but I know it's on there. Anyway, he was a Tompkins, and his son was supposed to got mad at him, and he picked up a big hammer and hit that end of the anvil and broke that end off of it. Oh.
People don't realize how much they're worth nowadays. They think it's just a piece of scrap metal, don't they?
Yeah. I've got about 50 different hammers, I think. I counted them here one day. But the biggest one's up there at the garage. It's 20 pounds.
20 pounds.
That's a big one. Yeah, that one there is not too big. There.
No, these some that your family
That's some
might
real
use?
old hammers. Yeah, that was donated by a good friend of mine that's donated a lot of stuff. See, that's got one in there made out of a railroad spike.
Okay, that does, don't
That's
it?
neat, yeah. That's neat. What else?
These hinges and gate posts. To fasten
Doors.
doors.
Barn doors. Well, that's a gutter. Gutters were round. Well, there's one up there on the back of that old smokehouse. Dad would make some holders for them. That the original ones were just wire. But he'd make some out of that that would hold up good.
You said he worked probably up to almost the 90s. What was some of the stuff that he did the most of? What kind of work was he usually doing the most of?
Well, he built truck beds a lot.
Yeah,
Logging.
That was
Yeah.
earlier.
Logging, farming, of course,
But in
repair.
the 70s, 80s, and 90s, he actually done more work for the loggers and farmers
Farmers, yeah.
than he did actually as far as he never did hardly do no horseshoeing or none of that.
Most of the horses have done been replaced by
Yeah.
tractors and stuff by then.
But now he did at one time, he put a band on a wagon wheel, because we can remember, Tommy Max can remember it too, him having a round fire out there to heat that band, and then taking a hammer and beating it down on that wagon wheel, and then pouring water around it, and it would just shrink it.
Yep.
Set right there.
I've even helped him. I mean, he done a right smart steel and wagon work through the late 70s,
Yeah.
in the 70s. You know.
Well, you're going to have a barking dog in there. I don't know how to shut her up.
Yeah, well, that's just part of having a dog being out in the country
Maybe
sometimes.
that won't be too bad to have a barking dog in it.
So what's these? You got what do you call these picks right here?
Sharp hammer. Now that's for sharpening mill rocks.
Mill.
Those are, yeah. That's
For
sharpening mill.
what do you mean sharpening? Oh, we're talking about for a
Beat
mill.
the rock, yeah,
Okay,
they had
get
the-
the grooves in the
yeah.
big round rock. I got you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where they,
Mill rock sharpeners. Ah.
I'll tell a story about a little hammer like that. There's a guy that come down here. He's a barber at Jamestown. Actually was mayor of Jamestown one time. And he grew up down here. He was raised down here. His brother just died not long ago. But anyway, he come down here and he had cancer and he was pretty bad shape. Actually, he come down here to pick out a plot here at the cemetery. And I had a little hammer like that Dad had had. And I told them when they come in here, I said, I'll give you something that I've made, is what I said, you know. And I was talking about one of those hiking sticks, and I have give away some pencil holders and things like that. And he picked up that hammer and said, I'd like to have that little hammer. My first thought, you know, that's Dad's hammer, but I couldn't turn him down, you know.
Yeah, Ralph.
Yeah, because he knew Dad well, and I knew he didn't have too long to live.
Like that, he was first cousins to Dad.
Yeah, I guess he was, yeah.
Well, that was nice of you to let him have it.
Yeah. Of course, I have a little trickery too around here and there. This is all my pennies, penny collection. But when I have a kid come in here, I say, if that was full, could I pick it up, you know? And then I'll show them that I can pick it up pretty easy. So it's just pennies down about right there.
Right.
Rest of it's flat aluminum cans.
Did you have any milk cows when you were growing up?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Grandpa always kept a few.
Kept a few.
Yeah.
For milk?
Barn up there.
Did you ever milk them?
Nah, we never did milk. Now, I milked at a barn down here one time, a dairy barn with electric milker.
Electric milker?
Yeah, for a while. A big dairy they had down here. Let's see, what else I need to show him? I guess I ought to show him the knife that Joe Kelly Stockton, you know, they was talking about this morning about that lady that run for governor.
Yeah.
Her husband was Joe Kelly Stockton. He was pretty well known too. He's supposed to kill the bear with a pocket knife. But I was going to show you. Archie, you need to put that on. You'll look like Davy Crockett. And a lot of times I'll ask somebody, you don't have a pocket knife, do you?
Me, only no.
You know, a lot of people, you know, carry a pocket knife, but most of the time, you know, it's pretty small. Like I wouldn't carry this in my pocket either, but this is the one he's supposed to kill the bear with.
Oh, well, that looks like it might work.
Yeah, that was big enough. And if I was going to fight a bear, that's what I'd want to have.
Yeah. So how'd you come by that knife?
A friend of mine got it. Somewhere or another.
Passed it down to you.
But now, when I showed that the other day up there, some of them said it was a Barlow that he killed a bear with, and that's not a Barlow. So I don't know if somebody may have told him that just to sell it. Here's something else I'll show you. It's kind of interesting. See if you know what it is.
Let me think a minute before you tell me. You want me to figure out what type of animal it is?
Yeah.
Well, it's a pretty good size.
Pretty much round when you skin them out. Something you might notice interesting about it, it don't have a tail to it. In this animal, you don't skin out their tail.
I'm going to think of beaver.
Beaver, there you go, yeah. Dad never did trap them much, but I always thought it'd be interesting to have one of those furs, and the guy donated me that. Now, this is what Dad trapped a lot. A lot of times the kids, I'll show them this sack, and I say, if I have time, I'll show you what's in the sack. And of course, when I get done, I'll say, well, is there anything I've not showed you? What's in the sack? What's in the sack? You know, and kids always want to know just what you got. And I'll jerk the meat hide out by the tail. Now, long and slim.
Is minks around here?
Yeah.
Is that trapped here?
Yeah, Dad would trap them. This one didn't come from right here.
Now, I don't think there's many left, though, are there?
I don't know, because nobody traps them to know.
They're not around, so what's happening?
But I mean, they stay down on the creeks. They're not something that gets out on the road and gets killed much. Occasionally they do, but
the only thing I see is what they call them I call them muskrats. Yeah.
Muskrats.
You see them all the time.
That's
muskrats and mink and
keep my best
and foxes and possums.
Possums, yeah.
My best arrowhead's head a little bit. That's probably my best arrowhead right there, even though it's got an ear off of it. It's beveled right on that side. You flip it over, and it's beveled on the other side. And that's something.
That's nice.
That took some work to make.
Does that come from around this area, maybe?
Yeah, it come from west of Jamestown there a little ways. What's called Canatzer Hollers, where that come from. Well, I've got some other odds and ends in there, but it's a deer hide and a Trump hat. You don't need to see that. Don't need to get into politics here, do we? What else?
New River.
Go ahead.
I've been even to Lake City and on up through Wrightsville, all the way up the river.
Over Graves Gap Mountain. You go over the mountain and come out over
I
there.
worked for Jellicoe Grocery in 1969. And we haul groceries all the way down.
Oh, well, you know where all the little stores is at then, didn't you? So you went over to New River Market then, I guess, huh?
Oh.
So you remember, so that would have been, at the time, would have been ran, I'm trying to think who, can't remember the guy's name, but yeah, that originally started that. You probably sold to him as a kid. Can't think of his name, just started New River Market, but
I don't know.
His probably, when he was a kid, he was probably still running it, yeah. Back then, there's a bunch of little stores up through there, all over.
I went up through Elk Valley and to Jellicoe and come down Old 25 down to.
They were once 5 here in Armathwaite. 5 grocery stores. Yeah, my model up there at the garage. I'll show it to you.
Okay, yeah.
I've got everything up. I was going to show you my little pumpkin I grew.
Oh my goodness.
27 pound. Look there, what a stem it's got in it.
That looks like a boat anchor.
That's a concrete pumpkin.
Put your hook in that and use that for a boat anchor. Looks like that's a heavy one.
I got to making things out of concrete.
Now what'd you do? Pour concrete into one of them plastic things?
And then peeled it off.
Yeah.
And I've done the same thing here with a football to make I got first place at the fair, make a John Ward football. You may be related to him.
No, I wasn't related to the voice of the Vols.
Johnny Majors, not John Ward. He was the announcer, wasn't he?
John Ward
This is the coach, yeah.
This is the coach, Johnny Majors, yeah.
Majors. I seen him over here at rugby one time. He was
How about that? I bet that was a treat.
Yeah. Oh, here's a little nest. Kind of interesting. A lot of people don't know what that is. That's actually a bird's nest.
How about that?
Whippoorwill. Hummingbird.
Hummingbird, yeah.
Get it out, yeah.
Probably had 2 or 3 in
Somebody read up on it, said they line that with spider web, is the way that looks like silk or something in there, don't it?
there. But that was comfortable, wasn't it?
Interesting. Yeah. This is something I grew one year. That's instead of an ear of corn, it's an ear of shuck. Just grew little pieces of shuck on it instead of grains of corn.
How about that? Got a buckeye in there too with it, huh?
Told somebody the good Lord may be having us eat shuck one of these days instead of corn. I'll show you my little mighty mow here. It's pretty amazing. This little anvil here, I weighed it, and it's 37 pound. And I have to be careful not to get a small piece of metal. I got a small piece close to it there one day, and then I had trouble pulling it off. Listen at it. Pick that anvil right up.
Now, what was that piece used for? That was some kind of equipment, wasn't it?
I don't know. The guy that gave me that, he said, I've got a hammer I dropped down in there and I can't get it out. Well, I went trying to pull it out, and I said, it's stuck on something. And it was stuck on this magnet.
How about that?
And when I got it out, I said, I'd like to have that, just to show people. He said, well, you can have it. He didn't have any use for it and didn't know where he'd got it. Well, just asked about something else, John. If something else you want to know about, I've got a bunch of cedar arrowheads I made one summer. Well, I've got the Confederate flag in there too. I didn't want to display that, and I just folded it. Made those one summer. I broke my back. I fell out of a cherry tree and broke a bone in my back. Couldn't do anything much, so I made arrowheads out of cedar.
How about that?
And those are just like real arrowheads. I had a book of, I guess Larry gave it to me, a book of arrowheads, and I made them.
Now, you said you was a school teacher?
Yeah.
Retired?
30 years. I retired in 04, I guess it was.
Now, what grades did you teach?
Well, up here at the Armathwaite school, before it went out, I taught up there 10 years, and I taught middle grades most of the time, and I was actually principal for 2 years.
Yeah.
I didn't like that much.
Didn't like that.
But then I majored in physical education, so I went to Allard. They had a physical education teacher.
No wonder I see you out running and riding bikes.
Yeah, that's where I got started.
Got it going on, don't you?
These are kind of interesting. These old milk bottles.
Yeah, how about
Still
that?
got the paper cap, but one thing I noticed is pretty amazing about them. The phone number is 360, 3 digits.
You what town them come from?
Middlesboro, Kentucky.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
got it on there.
How about that?
And I can remember when there was a 4-digit phone number, of course. You had a party line. A lot of times you couldn't always call because somebody else was on the line. That's a model of the Challenger that blew up. You know, there's a school teacher on that. And
Right, yeah.
I made that one year. I guess about the year it happened. Here's something you don't see too often. A 4-foot yardstick. It says 4 feet are better than 3.
4 feet are better than 3.
Called a Dutch yardstick.
Now I see something right here that I do have a question about. I'm gonna look over here. Don't have my glasses on, but Cass R. Brooks.
Charles, that's short for Charles.
Charles.
Charlie, they call him.
Now, is that related to the same Brooks over here at the store?
Yeah, it is, Larry.
R.M. Brooks is
Brother.
Charlie was brothers.
Brothers, yeah.
Yeah, and he had a store too, didn't he?
Yeah, that's one of those grocery stores I was telling you about.
Yeah, he has a store, and they had another brother, Chester,
They had one too.
at Jamestown. That had a big grocery store also.
Here's a book you ought to read. It'll keep you safe if you read it.
What's that about? How about that?
Got a little toy gun in it.
Well, I bet you did that, didn't you? Did you cut that out?
Yeah.
I'm kind of picking up you like to craft those things, don't you?
Yeah. Now, I didn't do this now. I'm not that good. Larry donated that. That's made out of walnuts.
Yeah.
Look at that. How did they cut them things?
You must have used the bandsaws, Tom.
Yeah.
All right, so we're just looking at this little solar device here that was made in 1953, and
It'll work in sunshine too. It goes one way and then the other, don't it, for some reason?
right there. So that
Something, yeah.
you've got the original box to it and all.
Yeah. Original box. Yeah.
That's nice when you got the original box. You don't find that all the time.
This is something I made. I got out of an old farming magazine. This is supposed to be an exercise thing. It says MA roller. Everybody needs one. The MA roller is designed to gently stretch the spine and apply deep acupressure massage to every part of your body. I don't know how many of them they sold, but that's all there was to it. You lay down and roll on that, I reckon.
Well, I guess your spine goes right there.
Yeah, your spine goes right in the middle.
And you're all right. After you run that for about an hour, you get
I
up
tried
and
it a
you
little
feel
bit.
like new, don't you?
I didn't care much
You
about
didn't
it.
feel like new after rolling them?
No, it didn't do much for me.
I like your little building here. How long have you had it here? When did you build this little building?
2004, I guess, right after I
2004.
retired is when I started doing it. Now, that was electrical connection. It was up there at the old house. I reckon that's what it's for. But can you imagine using that and not getting shocked?
Well, you probably got used to it after you got shocked one or two times.
This part wouldn't shock you, but boy, you had to be careful or you'd get into that bar stuff, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably didn't have but a couple of plug-ins and a couple of lights in the house.
No, you probably didn't, no. What else have I not showed him, Larry? Larry's donating quite a bit of stuff.
There's a thing that they bull back in to pour for burns and the sawmills, you know, on all of them.
Yeah.
He Babbitt and that's a ladle, you know.
All right.
Show you my Texas Longhorn horn. Texas Longhorn horn. It'll make a little noise. Oh, call them in for lunch, I guess, or something. And I've got a Texas screwdriver too. We visited Texas one time, got to go to Alamo, and the guy said, "I've got a Texas screwdriver I want to give to you." Well, damn, that's a screwdriver. And
Well, that's about 29 inches long.
something like that, yeah. Big screwdriver. I hardly got room to hang it up. Oh. Don't hardly know what I've got anymore. I've got so much stuff piled in here.
So you got a Davy Crockett book hanging there on the wall?
Yeah. Now this gas nozzle come from Brooks' store.
Oh.
Rob Brooks' store. That's an old gas nozzle over there.
Now how'd you come by that?
Bobby.
Bobby gave it to you? Yeah.
He said they were stealing some stuff out of that old barn.
Yeah.
And that's when the store wasn't open, you know.
Right. They stole his water pump too, I think.
Yeah. And he told me, he said, if there's anything you want in that old barn, said you come over and get it.
Yeah.
And I got that, and I got that saw blade I'll show you up there that this lady painted the bargain barn on it.
Bargain barn there. He sold furniture.
A lot of furniture, yeah.
Nearly everybody. Back about me and my wife bought. We set up half scoopers on there.
I bet you still got some of that furniture, don't you?
Probably
some of it around. Back then they made it to last, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
They didn't make it out of pressed board. Now you get real humid in your house and your furniture will fall apart.
We'll go up to the garage.
There's the engine and the rock. You know, where they pounded corn.
Yeah? How about that?
You know.
That door come off my grandpa's house too. They got the original key.
Well, the old skeleton key. How about that?
Yeah.